Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the What the Football channel. This is the B8 and Scrubber Show. And on today's show, we're going to be previewing the upcoming game of the Commanders versus the Miami Dolphins, which is going to be played at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid, Spain. And that's going to be early in the morning for most people on the weekend. That starts at 9:30 Eastern time. And on the left coast there, it's 6:30 in the morning. So join us here early in the morning at 9:30. I'm going to do about half of the game, live streaming it. I got to go to work Saturday or Sunday morning, so get as much in as I can. Hopefully, we'll be winning and leave it at that. And being played in Spain, the first NFL game I think being played in Spain ever. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we can win this one. B8. How about our offense and their defense?
Well, man, going to be a challenge. It's kind of cool. 6:30 in the morning here on like you said, on the left coast. But I'll be up. I'll be checking it out. I'm excited to watch it. Man, we have really struggled. We know that's not news to anybody.
Yeah.
Losing by 21 points. We're just getting whooped. Bringing guys in off the street. Injuries galore. Luckily we got a solid guy in Marcus Mariota. Been playing quite a bit, and hopefully that just him, being the number one guy, getting just more reps in, especially with these receivers, young guys, all our top receivers and stuff are out. So, maybe guys like Jalen Lane and stuff can kind of get in there and, and do better. I mean, I know he's a rookie, but hey, too bad. He's going to have to do better. But, it's pretty short staffed. Now this defense, though, for Miami, much maligned when they started. I mean, horrible. I mean, man, they were giving up 29, 30 points a game, and they've really kind of come around quite well. They've been doing pretty darn good. They beat the Bills 31-13. And I saw a lot of that game, and it wasn't the Bills looking like trash. They were really playing some cohesive football. I mean, it kind of gives us hope, maybe not for this game, who knows, but in the future for us, because, you do see teams that look like a freaking clown show. And I'm watching them against Buffalo going, where the hell have these guys been? Tackling. I mean, just every time someone catches the ball, boom, they're down. Every time running back comes through, boom, they're down. But they've worked really well. One thing is they got a lot of young guys. So now you're 9, 10, 11 weeks into the season, and they played a lot of the young guys. So they're starting to come around. And the biggest surprise, honestly, is their DBs are pretty good. You got like Minka Fitzpatrick and Russell Douglas out there in the back end. Those are real good football players, both of them. They got some decent guys around them. But they've just done so well against running backs in the run. I mean, they held Cook from Buffalo. He couldn't get anywhere in the previous two games. To that, they've done really well against the run. And that's kind of like bad news for us, because that was sort of what we were looking at doing, and we can't seem to get out of our own way, running the ball. But it's a must. So I think it's going to have to be more of that balanced offense. I still think we can get after them in the run. This isn't this isn't a steel curtain situation. But we can't just do one or the other. It's just going to have to be super balanced, take advantage of other guys, other than Russell Douglas, be on the lookout for Minka Fitzpatrick back there patrolling, and and just hope some guys can really step up. I think we're overall pretty healthy on the offensive side. I mean, obviously a bunch of guys are on IR and everything, but except for I think Ben Sinnott tweaked something, but he's listed as questionable. Most questionables do end up playing, so I'm hoping he's out there. The offensive line looks, pretty strong. So I keep hoping. I was hoping last week the offensive line could maybe step up and dominate and assert themselves. They did okay, but they really couldn't do much more than that. So So what do you got for our D?
Well, just looking at the game coming up, both teams are 3-7. One team is ascending, going up, and one team is descending, going down. And unfortunately, we're the descending team, and they are the ascending team. So they're looking better and better, and we keep dwindling and dwindling. So that's a tough one. Also, too, this is being played in Spain, and it's going to be raining on Saturday and maybe a little bit on Sunday. But what's cool about that stadium, and I didn't know, it's grass, but they have the grass is retractable. I've
Oh,
seen I've seen some stadiums where the whole grass and everything slides out of the stadium. This is retractable. So thinking almost like I think you do it from the sideline, but in like 10 or 15-yard increments, it takes it out and down and puts it underneath, then goes and gets another piece and takes it down and puts it underneath, and then underneath are all these grow lights and sprinkler systems. Hell, they could be growing weed down there in the off time, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool looking. So they can take all the grass out, keep it down there, maybe even keep it dry, and then put it up for the next day. So the rain might not affect the grass. So they play soccer in that stadium, and they're all about keeping that grass tight, and so that works well for
yeah,
us. So
cool.
as far as the defensive side of our ball, they've got the Miami. Their offense is Tua, uh, Devon Achan with the other running back is Jalen Wright. He gets a few runs, and then their wide receiver, of course, is Jalen Waddle and Malik Washington, and they've got a couple other guys, but of course it's Tua, Achan, Waddle. Those are the guys you have to watch out for, and maybe Greg Dulcich is
Yeah,
their tight end, and so he's someone to watch after. So Achan is their moneymaker. How they're going to stop him, I don't know. One of the things they'll have to do is keep Tua on his toes. I know we say this every week. You just got to get to him. And that just means that, like Preston Smith, our defensive ends, Jacob Martin, Von Miller, Jalen Holmes, they've got to set the edge. They can't let Achan get out there. And, our linebackers, they're going to be attacking our linebackers with passing too. He's just going to come out
yep,
from the backfield and just attack Bobby Wagner. And so our defensive ends are going to have to play tight. Our inside defensive line is going to be Kinlaw, and now Johnny Newton is going to have to step up. And so Newton, some people are pretty sour on him. He hasn't really like spark. So, but maybe he can do something this week. And we also have Goldman and Sheldon Day
yeah,
backing them up on the inside. So maybe get them guys uh, um routed out every now and then. And as far as our cornerbacks is concerned, trying to cover Waddle, dude, I counted four now that Amos is out. We only got Antonio Hamilton Sr., Noah Igbenogany, Mike Sainstrill, and Jonathan Jones.
yeah,
And I don't think they brought anybody up from the practice squad that I know of now. I don't know how late you can do that, but I haven't seen anybody else come up. We do have people waiting in the wings on the practice squad. New guy that we brought in, Trey Hawkins. He's a cornerback. And we also had two other guys that are on the practice squad. Carlin Vigors.
figures. Yep,
He's been with us for a while, and another guy, Darius Rush.
right. And none of, like you said, right now, one of those guys has got to come up. I can't imagine them doing it with four corners. I think they're going to have a
Yeah,
fifth. Yeah, I think
no,
they're going to look at the injuries and look at the depth and
yeah.
just see who someone from another position group's just going to have to be inactive to bring in the fifth guy. We just got to,
Well, I
but boy,
think with Trey Amos out, you just replace him with a guy.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, so
So,
one of these guys has to step up too. You're right.
yeah. So, and then two people like you mentioned, Ben Sinnott came up on the injury list, and also McGee, Jordan McGee came up on the injury list. Now they're both listed as questionable, but I don't know what's going on there. And also, Ale Cajo is out with a concussion.
Yeah.
So because he's out, you have another opening, and do you bring up Kane Madrano? Is he already? He's already playing anyway.
I think
I
he
think.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kane is on the 53, but he gets inactive quite a bit. But he has been in and out too. So, but another thing to remember too about that spot is maybe it's not as easy to replace a Trey Amos spot because we have to keep the spot for the dumbass who got suspended.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna I'm not gonna say his
Well,
name, but I don't
yeah,
know how that all works, but you know what I
right.
mean? Because you might need an act now at defensive tackles. You can't have one of the defensive tackles inactive like you normally do. You might want a fifth guy for the rotation. So then you bring up, one of our other D line, I don't know, some other backup D lineman. I don't know, Ricky Bart, maybe. It just depends. You look at
Yeah.
how strong do you feel. No,
Yeah.
our four defensive tackles, they're fine.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a fifth corner. I don't know how it all works, but they do kind of look at injuries and strength and see how they're doing. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think some of these guys have got to be brought up though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I thought was interesting, I just found out too that Pittsburgh just let Derek Forrest loose. So he's on the free agency.
oh
And
oh
we like
really?
Derek Forrest. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not pick up. Yeah, why not?
I just
God,
heard
man.
that today. So,
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah. So our kind of we've got our four-man. I've been looking at the numbers. Our guys rotated defensive tackle pretty much at a same rate. Their numbers are going to bump up, but really, Eddie Goldman and especially
mhm.
Sheldon Day
Yeah.
have been playing. Sheldon Day's been playing the lights out. He's got a
Yeah.
72 PFF, and now he's been playing 30% kind of snap share. Well, he's probably going to be 45%. So hey, let's get 45% of Sheldon Day playing a 72 PFF because we
Yeah.
need it. I mean, Johnny Newton's got a 52. Kinlaw gave Kinlaw that money. He's got a 55. So, Duran, unfortunately, is probably our best rated D lineman, and he's out. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
Oof.
threw some money away after some of these guys, as it looks now, in
Yep.
Lattimore and Kinlaw, and
Yep.
so
And I
kind of
mean,
yucky.
it is. And our defensive ends, could rotating in and out do fairly well.
Hmm.
So it'd be nice to see, Von Miller and Preston Smith. Preston really hasn't done a lot. He's been what you would call solid, but we're talking C plus solid. So, but we need more than that. We need pressure. I mean, Tua is not a great running back. I mean, he doesn't running quarterback. He sits in that pocket. He's very patient, and
Hmm.
I mean, he'll break out of the pocket, but he's not going to kill you. So you
Right.
got to make it uncomfortable for him if you can. So
Well, then you just bring Luvu up a little bit more or something. But
yeah,
them guys though too, Miami does like the Lions do. They do what they call that jumbo package. And we were doing that for a while. They bring in the extra linemen.
yeah,
And so that's really going to screw us over. And you got Achan, and they do that because their O line isn't all that great. They got some of the worst graded people on their O
yeah.
line. So
It's
when they
not
bring
that
in that
great.
jumbo package, it makes up a little bit. If you're not throwing to a tight end, anyways,
Yeah,
and you're only working Waddle and Achan, that seems to be the bulk of their team. So
yep,
at least that narrows down what our guys have to look at.
yep,
Double up on Waddle. It doesn't really, it leaves Washington and maybe a couple of them other guys, but them guys are only getting two or three targets a game.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That's the way I look at. Hey, if you're going to get beat by Malik Washington. Don't go
yeah.
into a game and have Jalen Waddle go off or Devon Achane. And another thing too is send guys. We've already done death by 1,000 cuts. The 42 play,
Yep.
14-minute drive, the
Yep.
death march. Where
Yep.
the guys go to the sideline, they're fighting over the oxygen mask. Because they're dying. You know.
Yep.
And so, we don't, if we got if it's a 75-yard bomb, cool. I'm for it. Get them off the field and let them go regroup and do something. But you just by the time the game gets to the fourth quarter, they're dead. They're done.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of it can be 3-and-outs, or the offense can only run 5 plays before they punt, and then you guys go out on defense, and instead of shutting it down, you add to the misery by letting this long grinding drive go. So man, I say just man, not on every play, but sometimes just send the house, man. Tell
Yeah.
those corners, hey, nut it up, man. You're going to go one on one sometimes, but we gotta go after these guys and stop them. So yeah, I think we said earlier in the season we looked at Miami right before the bye, going, hey, this is a team that's got some issues. Well, not anymore. They're clicking.
Yep.
So we're going to have our hands full. Be nice to have a victory and go into the bye and come out and then have like a sliver of hope for this team.
Yeah. Yeah, because we could get some guys back after the bye.
Exactly.
There are
Yeah, there's
people coming
guys
back
lining up.
after the bye, so that's
Yeah,
starting to look good. It's an outside shot. You'd have to win like every game and that kind
pretty
of stuff.
much.
So,
Yeah, because Noah Brown should be back, and then our strong safeties coming back. So we've got some guys are coming back. Who was
mhm.
it that we put on IR?
Trey
The
Amos,
the strong safety earlier in the season, the guy we got from New Orleans. I forget his name, but he's ready to come back.
Will Harris.
Yeah, he's ready to come back. So his 21 days opening up. Noah Brown's 21 day is opening up. Who knows where Terry could be? That's 2 or 3 weeks away. So at least we got some of these guys. Could actually be coming back. Duran will come off suspension. We can build on. So a win would be great
Yes.
to build on. I mean, that's what I said, just a sliver of hope. So
Anything
anyway,
can happen at these international games too. Both teams are on
oh
are traveling and flying, and we've been there for a while, I guess, a few
yeah,
days. I think we've been
seems
there.
like it. Yeah, it seems like we've
uh,
been there a while.
Acclimating and doing all the brotherhood and the culture.
Yeah,
So
culture.
whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm hoping for a win. I'm open-minded to it, because Miami is one of these. Which Tua do we get today?
Yes, yes. And they had a big victory against
Yeah,
a rival.
yeah,
That's who you want to play. The
yeah,
team that just played their best game, and they did play good. But a
yeah.
team that almost always seems to struggle. All of a sudden, they put it together. Usually, a lot of times, the next week they're not as hot. We've seen that a lot in the NFL. So we got that to go on.
Yep. All right. Well,
All right, man.
everybody, uh, look forward to Sunday morning. Join us. BH, I guess, will be in the chat room, and
I'll be
I'll be
there.
calling the game a little bit. I don't get to watch it on TV, but I'll call it anyways. We'll have the graphic up, and we'll yell and scream and hope for a win.
Exactly. All right, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.